Hello, everyone. My name is Wah.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Sweeties.
We are two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and on today, docu-series.
Yes, honey, but through our own lens, which is a little salty, a little bitter, a little spicy, a little hot at the end of the day. Also kind of sweet. We are so excited to bring you episode 2 of the most hated man on the internet.
Oh, she got it.
For some reason, there's a whole other either documentary or movie called The Most Hated Man in America, and that's for a different time and day. But because that sounds like this one, I've said it wrong each and every time I've ever said it, and so for the podcast, Waz been saying it, and this time she was like, "Do you want to try?" And I have believed in myself. And you know what? This is testimony to always believe in yourself because you can right your own wrongs.
You can do it.
All right, honey, let's talk about this horrible person and the shit he did for women, or what two women for another 30 minutes. Look at this asshole. Look at this douchey asshole. Fuck you. Fuck you.
And he even says in episode 1, I think, that he has a small penis, but because
he did?
Yeah, he said he has a small penis.
If he said that, you know it's a micro dick. It is a micro pencil. Like it is a golf pencil that has been used game after game. I mean, it's, oh my God, I hate that man so much.
And you know what we never talk about? Like, we've seen episode 1 and we've seen episode 2, and then we've been introduced to this girlfriend in each one of them, and we hear about the antics, and we're going to hear about more antics that this man does in this episode, and we think, where is his girlfriend throughout all of this? She's in the background supporting him, but like physically, where is she? And mentally, where is she? That God. She could be with somebody who had done all this, and then he's like sleeping around. It's like she was just like a glorified groupie.
Yes.
And the way she talks about it is like it was love at first sight. Like they met each other and there was like this instant connection. Was she with him while he was doing all this wild stuff? I thought she was in school studying design or something. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Now this is episode 2, and Charlotte, her back is up against the wall, and she wants to find out things about Hunter, and she wants to make his exploits known. And she's already written a book, girl, because she was a party girl, and so she has her own little money tucked away. So what she does when she's on vacation one time is she goes into like an internet cafe and she uploads a blog about Hunter and exploits him. Exploits him? No, she exposes him. But his group of people, the family, are so quick that they end up taking down her blog in like, I don't know how long. I can't even tell you, but very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, can I just be honest? Charlotte, was this the only blog entry you've ever had? Because I want to hear Charlotte's sexploits. I just want to feel like, you know, she has such good stories of, that is probably in the book. I probably should just write the book or read the book.
You can write it too. You want to rewrite her book? You just want to read it?
I want to write my own book. I want to write my own book about having read her book. It's like I want to write a book essay about her book and all the crazy shit she did in the 80s and whatnot, 70s, 80s. But yeah, she is, it's interesting because we are already on her side, and she's just so naive of how internets work. She's just like so excited to make this like Charlotte Law's blog spot and like publish. She's probably like, oh, look what I'm doing. Oh, it's so easy. And just like, she like pushes it and refreshes. Like in my mind, I was like, well, did you even like tweet about it or anything? But like, she didn't have to. What honestly happened is, you know, the family, those assholes have like Google alerts set, honey, just like I do for myself. Do you have a Google alert set for yourself, Juan? Well, I guess you don't really love yourself. Anyway, you should look into that. I'll do one for you. I'll do it for me and I'll do it for you. So anyway, yeah, the blog spot, obviously, as we get hacked or whatever, as we've talked about. And she's like, all of my work done. But you know, here's the thing about Charlotte is that she can't hold a good woman down, and she's doing everything. She's trying all the tactics. She's like doing this. She's been talking to all these women, getting all of their stories, opening a Google Doc and putting their pictures in and their stories in, and like, you know, how their things happen. So she has like so much information. She's just waiting to give the right person or whatever. And the right person could be coming along. At the same time, you know, Hunter, unfortunately, is like gaining internet fame. You know, he has a lot of like likes and followers and tweets. Like people are tweeting him or whatever. And like, it's a little bit of an underground scene, this whole scene, you know? And so it catches the eye of the Village Voice, which was an alternative newspaper in New York. The Village Voice from Rhyme Redheads. To any passing fed, to being an us for once instead of a them. La Vie Boheme. You guys know it. This is some straight New York shit. Okay, so anyway, Village Voice, of course. Michael Musto, we all know him, especially from EBE days. So God bless. But we meet Camille Vodario, and she decides for this documentary to wear like a bejeweled jewel blue tone shirt, and then wear like a string of like Mardi Gras fake pearls that are just gonna like nestle in that shirt, honey, all day long.
And you know, this is why I'm a horrible person, because
okay.
I wonder what she looked like when she was
Me
hanging
too.
out with
Me
Hunter,
too.
because based on what Hunter
Yes.
seemingly surrounds himself with, the type of women, she doesn't seem like she falls into that category. And if she did, it was strategic to her reporting ways, because she was able to be there and witness a lot of shenanigans that I don't know that any sane individual who was committing crimes the way he was committing crimes, or like being a jerk the way he was being a jerk, would allow a reporter just to like be around. But she was here for the ride, and she was very excited to be a part of his little entourage. It felt like everybody who kind of had a part in dealing with Hunter was somehow attracted to him, even though like that one photojournalist, the one with all the tattoos, Mike something or other, like he was like, yeah, what Hunter was doing was terrible, but also crazy. And I'm like,
you liked it?
Yeah.
Everyone, listen, there is something magnetic about Hunter now. Thank God we don't know him, so we think he's a douche. But at the time, there was something that is engrossing, cult-like figure, iconic in such a way where you are around his energy or his charisma, or like the scariness or the mystery, the danger that he presented, whatever it was, I guess was intoxicating, because this Village Voice lady gets taken for a ride, and literally like, and also at the same time, we have to know this, like Hunter, knowing that the Village Voice reporters there, is like going to put on even a bigger show. Like he lives for this. Like this is someone who has like absolute sociopathic psychotic disorder. I'm sure he's so like a narcissist. I'm sure it's like feeding a part of him. So I don't know if she, has to play a part or whatever, but like he's partying. They like get a limo off the street in New York. They all pile in this limo. Like at one point, Hunter starts making out with a girl, then making out with his guy friends, and then starts begging another girl to like have sex with him. And that girl's like, no. And this Camille girl's like, just writing about it. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't understand how this is just a completely different world. Now, not to say that I couldn't get soaked up in something like this. Like, honestly, like when the whole R. Kelly situation came out and I did that very sentimental piece about it on my YouTube channel, Just Call Me Wah, I was like, that could be me. And it's just because it couldn't be like, I see Hunter and I think stranger danger, you know what I'm saying? But I see R. Kelly and I would not have thought that. So it's like, I do understand if the circumstances were right, how I could have been caught up in this, but also no, I could not. As soon as there was like doing coke, I'm out of that. I don't want anything. I have a family. I have a clan, you know what I'm saying? There's like, I come from people, and I can't have any of that ever coming out ever. I would die.
It's a lot. I think a lot of through this documentary, and it's very few and far between do we even hear about his parents. Like, like obviously Charlotte calls his mom in her workplace in episode 1, and we don't even know like what that workplace is. But I long the entire documentary to be like, what the hell does his mom think? Like, how did they raise this person? Like this person is only this person only longs to do the worst things possible for attention and doesn't care who he hurts or what happens along the way. And it wants to do all of the drugs, is just like a crazy addict. And his parents know about it.
And they support him and they bail him out and they do all these things. And it's just so confusing because but here's the truth. I know women like this. I think honestly that there are parents out there who can't fathom their children's poor behavior. And so they believe them. The same way Charlotte believed her daughter when her daughter said that she didn't put them pictures on the internet is the same way that his parents probably believed him when he just said, Mom, I'm being sent these and I'm putting it out on the internet. Like, it's the internet. What am I supposed to do about it? But the mother isn't getting emails from people begging her to have her son take down. Like, I'm pretty sure if the mother read any of the people reaching out, she would have been like, oh, Hunter, stop that. I imagine that she didn't. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because I just can't imagine people being this horrible, but maybe they're just as horrible. Who knows?
Yeah. So basically, especially because he goes on his first national television show, which is Anderson Cooper. And he goes on, I think, to be
Justify,
cool,
yeah.
be famous and be cool. And whether he has the wherewithal of how he's going to come off, or if he cares, or if he feels like it doesn't make a difference, he comes off as being horrible, which is the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah, and it's because Anderson Cooper is good at his job
Yeah.
and paints a very specific picture. And Hunter is not a schmoozer. He's not a finagler. He is, but not in that minute, like upper crust Anderson Cooper way, right? And so Hunter is unable to take himself out of being looking like a jerk, right?
Yeah.
The audience is behind Anderson Cooper when he's like, but Hunter, you're doing this and you're ruining lives. And Hunter's response is, well, they shouldn't have taken those pictures. That's not my fault. And everyone's like, no, you don't get to walk away and just say that. And I honestly think that I have an inkling of a memory of this situation happening in real life. Like, I think I remember Anderson Cooper's point of view, and I remember the term revenge porn when it first came out. And I remember like snippets, but not knowing that it came from a very specific place.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember when I first heard the word, and I heard that there were people out there putting videos up or pictures up of ex-lovers' nakedness, and then, it being coined a term.
God, it's so interesting because all the flashbacks and the pictures and stuff really take you back in this documentary. It's so specific. So it does feel familiar, but like also unfamiliar. But he really shoots himself in the foot there because he, gets people to realize how horrible he is. Everyone on the internet has an opinion, but we get introduced to James, and James is an Marine Army. He's definitely ex-military.
Marine.
Okay, I think it was Marine too. And he specializes in internet hacking, also just smart internet work. I don't have to tell you, my loves, like he's just good at it.
James is a tech guy. He owns several companies, and he's really good at the legal version of hacking.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of friends in high and low places. Mm-hmm. And so he comes across this case, and he realizes that Hunter is a bully, and he starts to hear Charlotte, and he's like, oh no, I don't, no me gusta. I don't like bullies. And Hunter, James is a man who's living his own life with his wife and kids. Like he doesn't have to do any of this, but because he sees this man out there bullying all of these women and taking advantage of them, he decides that he's going to jump in the fray, and he reaches out to Charlotte to let her know that she's not alone, and that he's going to do everything in his power to help her. And Charlotte, along with ends up going to the FBI, and the FBI picks up her case, right? And with that, they are partnering with a woman by the name of Wendy Wu, who is, I think, the Attorney General or somebody in some kind of lawyer, something like that. Not the Attorney General of the United States. District, yeah. And so now the FBI is on the case. James is on the case, but the FBI is like,
Charles isn't. Charles is not on the case, honey. Charles is on that couch waiting for his tea, honey. Is it 4 p.m. yet?
Yeah. Like, it's crazy that her husband is still not on the case. Like he's like done his bare minimum, and he's backed out again. But anyways, so the FBI takes all of Charlotte's documentation. This woman has documentation, okay?
Google documentation.
Just so much. She gives them files of like
JPEGs and
information of like all the women who were possibly hacked. And that's where the FBI goes, hacking we can handle, because that is illegal. And so the FBI takes it, but they say, you know what, Charlotte, you got to back out now. You have to let us do our job. We can't have you sleuthing and providing us information. We need to get it pure. We need to get it from the source. So back down. But Charlotte is like, oh, I'm not going to back down. But she also doesn't get involved in there. She gets updates from the police, from the FBI every once in a while about how the case is going, but it's moving really, really slow. And she doesn't want to let the women think that she's off the case. So she's continuously doing stuff. She's working with James. She put out her little blog. That didn't work.
I love the fact, she really also takes into account her responsibility where she wants to provide emotional support to these women. She feels like just being able to have someone in your life who has gone through it and understands and is working towards getting your life back is like what these women need. I mean, with, oh God, I wrote her down.
So then we get to a point where
Need other people.
So then we get to a point where Hunter's under fire. Okay, he's starting to realize that like him going on Anderson Cooper wasn't the best thing to do. He doesn't know how to get out of it. And so James jumps on that. James is like, look, sell me isanyoneup.com and get out of it. Because right now, let me tell you, so James pretends to be like a tech friend. And he's like, let me see your website. Let me see what's going on in there. And when James goes on there and finds the child pornography, he then says to Hunter, you got to let this go. There's child pornography on here. You're going to go to jail. You can't have this like this. And Hunter freaks out because he knows that the child pornography that he's been receiving is he shouldn't have and it's illegal. But James scares him.
Mm-hmm.
So Hunter sells because Hunter doesn't want to go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time the girlfriend is just like, oh my God, Hunter was totally scared. But then he was mad at Charlotte and he would not let it go. And I just didn't know what to do. It was just, I'm so embarrassed that I was a part of something as terrible as this.
So we also have to bring up two other lovely victims. Danielle, who is from Product Town, honey, but she has cute gray hair that's like in it's like a little poofy French up and then French bangs, tiered French bangs, curtain bangs, or some there, and you kind of cut it down. I love that look. So she's super cute. And then we also have another girl named Kara, who's from New York. And so Charlotte is like doing the most talking to them as well, which is, listen, really, horrible. I don't know if she talks to Destiny. Does she talk to Destiny throughout this, who is unfortunately called Butthole Girl?
No, okay. Not that I'm aware of at all. So then Hunter, after he sells isanyoneup.com to James, and James immediately links it to a website called Bullying. His fans Bullyville. His fans go crazy. Hunter's a sellout. We don't like him anymore. Blah, blah, blah. So Hunter freaks out. And he then begins a campaign on Twitter talking about he didn't sell out, but he's still here and he's going to be DJing around the world or around the country. He just becomes a DJ and starts to party. And so starts to get paid to go places, to bring crowds and to party.
Yeah.
And have women sniff cocaine off of his, I'm sure, small and flaccid penis.
Golf pencil dick. No, yeah. He, for some reason, James, who is like a superhero in this, you really love James. And James who's a military person, has great sound bites throughout. He somehow also talks Hunter into like writing an apology for his Bullyville post. So that also made it, Hunter look like a beta, which made me very, very, very happy. Even though Hunter is tweeting or doing Facebook posts about this and that. And it's just that he is, so sad in real life.
So Hunter then goes on a campaign, not only with, DJing around the country, but then he goes on a news outlet to talk about it. So he has several different, I think news outlets. He has tiers to it. He has a good news outlets like Anderson Cooper. Uh-huh. And then he has these, are they pre-podcast? Are they podcasts before the podcast blew up?
They are dumb male incel podcasts. Where dudes can just have dude talk. And what it is it's always the same sounding podcast, literally to the point where throughout this docuseries, I can't tell you if it was different ones or he obviously had his three friends. It's always some guy be like, Hunter. So tell us about going, how you feeling about what happened with Anderson Cooper and how things have changed now.
He's like, man, this fucked up. Nothing's going to stop me. You know how much money I'm going to make if I show somebody getting killed on my website.
You're so great.
These guys, these girls just suck my dick. I don't.
You're so cool.
Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? But I'm still making money. I'm still here. They can't get me. I'm invincible. No one's going to stop me ever, bro. It's like that. And it's really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And so he then goes on some way. I don't know where he goes, but this is what I have the soundbite of. It is, I definitely have grown a lot. I've learned the error of my ways because, I'm 26 now. And obviously when I started this site, I was 24. So I've obviously grown. What?
And no, he hasn't. But
not at all. And so then when the website goes down, Butthole Girl at Destiny is sad because it was a part of her. And that's when I realized that there is no amount of help that I could have offered that person. Part of me always wants to be oh, if they knew me, they wouldn't have done that because I'm crazy. But see somebody who's just far gone.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's just like there. Even if somebody were to have been there to stop her, she would still have done what she did because she was so infatuated with Hunter. So her tears are real, but also like a part of me will just never understand it.
I've known a couple of girls like this who are just the frailest birds, who are just incredibly sensitive and emotional and longing desperately for something that is intangible and ungettable.
Yeah. So he then says, I'm sorry if your daughter was cyber raped, but now she knows about technology. And then Anderson Cooper asks him if he's sorry. And he says he isn't sorry. And then he's like, wait, no, I am sorry. I am sorry.
Oh, you know what, my love? This is where I messed up in the notes. So this is where it's Dr. Drew. He goes on Dr. Drew.
Oh, so it's not Anderson Cooper. So he goes on Dr. Drew, you guys. Take that back.
Well, he goes on 2 shows.
No, I know.
Okay.
So he goes on Dr. Drew and he then tries to like apologize for that behavior. And that's where he says, I'm 24 now. I mean, I was 24 and now I'm 26. But now your daughter knows. Sorry, she was cyber raped. Like it's so crazy because in this current climate that we're in, like you could never say that.
Yeah, and Charlotte gets to be like telegraphed in. And so he sees Charlotte's face, and Charlotte, I feel like he didn't realize that he'd have to come face to face with someone. And it's great because Charlotte is our queen, honey, Queen Charlotte. I love you, Charlotte. Like if, you need anything, honey, Charlotte's going to get it done. And especially if it's getting into a party. So at this point, what's annoying is, as horrible as he is, there's going to be people on the internet that watch him and are like, you're the best. Like, you're such a cool bad boy. Like,
it's crazy to me that people are just like, get him, Hunter. You show them who's boss, Hunter. Yeah, fuck the man, Hunter. And it's like, y'all, this man is ruining lives. Don't pump him up or like at all. You guys are all sad and sorry. Like, sad and sorry, please.
Yes.
Sad and sorry.
Now, while we're watching this also, we're in episode 2. We're like, okay, well, obviously Hunter hasn't been involved in this documentary as of yet, in the sense that we haven't seen him. We don't know what this recent picture looks like. We don't know one thing that happened to him. And it took all of me, not to like Google, F is Hunter Moore now? Like, what happened? Like, what does his tool look like now? Like, I want to know so bad or whatever. And I didn't. And we're not going to say anything, but like, I just want you to know that I was thinking about it. So if you're thinking about it, you're not alone.
I didn't, because I don't want him to ever, I knew
it'd be ugly. That's why I just want to see he looks like ugly now.
He's ugly anyway.
Yeah, sure. I mean, not that he was ugly, pretty then, but I know. But like, yeah, he's getting more followers. They have a lot of his tweets, which are always just like, all the dudes want to be me and all the girls want to fuck me, like versions of that. Just always over and over and over again. Anyway,
it's such a specific community. Like, here's the truth. Like, I watched this whole thing and I saw 2 Black people and they were partying with him. But after that, I said, oh, this is not my culture. And I love when there's moments when I see things and I go, oh, this is not my culture. And that's why this didn't happen to me. Or that's why, like, I didn't know anything about this. And it's so unfortunate to the women who got caught up in this. It's, I mean, just so because it could have been me, but it wasn't.
Could have been you. I have just a quick question to ask you in the vein of like 2 friends like hanging out. Would you rather kiss, out of the guys in this docuseries, Jeff Kirkpatrick,
who is the FBI
agent, Mike, the former scene kid, or James or Charles?
James.
Or Reza.
No,
Reza's more okay. James is hot. You know what? James is first of all, James has made a lot of money. Like, he's like, first of all, I think that if you're in the military, it's sexy. I think it's sexy because I think it means that you are like, at least have been trained to be a good guy. Whether you have, and by good guy, I mean, oh God, this is gonna be. There are values in the military, like showing up and discipline and having your brother's back and like being, like having values, and now listen, it's not always great. And there's a lot of like abuse that happens in the military. And yes, you have to like learn how to kill someone. So that all isn't great, but also at the same time, I'm so thankful that we have a safe country. So it's, I think it's overall a hot thing to tell me that you have been in the military. It makes me happy. Having said that, It's also hot when you tell me that after your military career that you started several businesses and like just make a shit ton of money. And you look like James. And James, it's hot. He's a hot man. What?
Yeah, so that's the end of this episode, y'all.
Oh, I was going to give you a chance to tell you why you want to have sex with him. No?
Oh, no.
Okay, great. That's the end of this episode, episode 2 of The Most Hated Man on the Internet. I said it. Now, having said that, if you want even more of us and this episode, you are welcome to join our Patreon, which gives you access to our unedited.
So it's my job to talk about Patreon. She keeps jumping on the Patreon bag. It's her job to talk about social medias, okay? And she just won't.
Hi.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode. Please go on ahead and, like give us some 5 stars or some, whatever, if you like what we're doing on Apple or Spotify podcast. But if you're really into us and you want to support us, please go to our Patreon and join it for just $10 a month. That is patreon.com/DocuSweeties. You're going to get these episodes early. You're going to get a visual of us along with the pictures. And who knows, depending on how many subscribers that we get or pledgers or patrons that we get on Patreon, we might have some lives. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We could do lives now, except for there'd be one person watching, and that would be weird.
Mm-hmm.
So please support us if you can. And Chris is here to talk to you about our
social medias. Hi, guys. If you want to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or Facebook, you can from the following. This is how. TikTok is DocuSweeties2, and everything else is DocuSweeties. So you can just go ahead, like our stuff, go ahead and comment, follow, tell us what you think. We're posting fun things specifically on Instagram. We'll get better about other things. And other than that, we love you guys so much. Thank you for being here and listening.
Yeah, we'll get better about those other things.
It's true.
Bye.